Hello everybody and welcome to another episode of course, Liam's Video Game Corner. This is my first post-E3 show. I hope everyone caught E3. I watched it. I mainly watched the Sony stuff because, you know, grew up as a PlayStation boy. I've remained loyal to the brand. Some good stuff. PS Vita looking pretty sweet. Don't know if I'll get it, mainly because I don't have money. Sadly. Of course, some great games announced. Assassin's Creed Revelations. Wow, that's going to be awesome. I mean, the ending of Brotherhood was just mind-blowing. Sorry, not here to talk about all those games, because, you know, that's not what we're here for. We're here for, of course, when video games and professional wrestling combine to make either something really, really good or something really, really bad. As previously predicted, not on the show, in private, I guess. I should have done it on the show. But THQ was at E3, and they were showing the new wrestling game that they've done, WWE 12. This is a reboot to the SmackDown series. It's the second reboot, as far as I'm concerned, the first one being about 6 years ago, with the very first SmackDown vs. Raw game. And a lot of people have been asking me, and when I say a lot of people, I mean about the 3 people who watched this show, but I like to say a lot of people because it makes it sound more popular. A lot of people have been asking me, what do I think of the new game? And to be honest, I can't really comment on it. Firstly, there's not enough information as far as I'm concerned to really go in depth with the discussions. The only thing I really know is that they basically just completely ripped out the old engine and put in a brand new one. I think it's called Predator technology or something, which is a new engine. It gives it brand new, there's brand new animations, brand new gameplay mechanics as well. We've got, what is it? There's, you can do a finisher taunt, where you taunt before your finisher. They're on the ground and then you taunt and then they get up and you can hit your finisher. The other thing is a comeback thing, comeback mode, where the person who's about to lose can do a comeback. If they successfully make a comeback, then they get 2 finishes and could potentially win the match. My only problem with that at the moment is that I feel like people are just going to abuse that, and it's just every time you're going to be in a match, somebody's going to make a comeback, and it's just going to be really annoying. You're going to want to go for the pin, but you can't because your opponents suddenly come back and you might fuck up and then they get you with 2 finishes. I think it might sort of ruin the gameplay a little bit. I just feel like I don't want this to be overdone almost. That's my only concern with it at the moment. The other thing is a brand new submission system called Breaking Point, of course named after a pay-per-view in WWE a couple of years back. I forgot how many years. Again, I can't really comment on this. I've seen it, I know what the meter looks like, but I don't know, they haven't explained how it works yet. So I don't know, but everyone has been saying that the submission thing can only be something good because recently in the past couple of games it's been going downhill, the submission stuff, because back in, I think, what is it? Like Here Comes the Pain and the original SmackDown vs. Raw, you could actually make your characters move towards the right to get a rope break during a submission, and that has in recent years been abolished. That doesn't happen anymore. So I've heard that's what this might be doing, I'm not quite sure, and things like that. So that's all I can really say. I can't really comment on it. I can only really sort of just give my own things that I want to see in the game, or things that I want eliminated, and this is just going by what's been in the past couple of games. This is mainly about the last game, 2011, but I do go into some of the other games as well from the past. The first thing I want to talk about is Universe Mode. Universe Mode, I actually really like the idea of Universe Mode. I think it's a really good idea. It adds a lot of life to the game. It makes it feel more like a sports game as well, because it you know, you get like those soccer manager games and things like that, and this it just makes it more entertaining. It gives a reason for it to be played, especially the fact that it's got unlockables and stuff as well is great. It's not perfect. Firstly, I feel that there's when I just let the computer just do what it wants, it always has the same people in the same title picture all the effing time. I've played it Universe Mode for quite a while, and I've always had, at WrestleMania, in some capacity, Randy Orton versus John Cena for the WWE title. In some way, they've always been at it. They are the ones who in the game have won the title the most. But the problem is, if you want to change that, you've got to go in and play as the game. You've got to play as a certain character to build them up. I don't want to do that. I'm busy focusing on certain characters. I've got creative wrestlers in there who I'm trying to build up. But they're always fighting against the same people. And it's just, I know a lot of people are saying I'm being a bit weird and I should just play as certain characters. But it's not that I don't want, them in the picture. It's just, I want other people. I want more than just Cena and Orton. I want others, I just want to expand it, and it just doesn't seem to be like that at the moment, which is a little bit of a problem. So basically what I'm saying is sort out the fucking ranking system. No one knows how this ranking system works. I don't even think THQ knows how this ranking system fucking works. I don't understand. Rey Mysterio is on a losing streak for an entire month. He's losing to Mike Knox, Finlay, even Vince McMahon himself, and he's still listed as third in line for the World Heavyweight title. That makes no sense, okay? Sort out the fucking ranking system, for the love of God, because right now, no one knows how it works, and it just seems to favour certain people. The other thing about Universe Mode that I don't personally like is I think there's way too many cutscenes in a match. I think too many things happen in a match. It seems like every single match I play, there's a fucking event. I don't think there needs to be an event in every single match I do. I really, really don't. I don't think that every time a certain character comes out and has a match... Currently I'm playing as a guy called the Tornado. He's a creative wrestler. And he goes out and he has a match. And every match he's had, Evan Bourne comes out. What? Why don't we just have those two fight in a match? A normal match. No cutscenes. Nothing before the match. Nothing after the match. Nothing in between the match. It doesn't make sense. I know people saying you can customise it and do it yourself. Just no. I don't want to do that. Sometimes I just want the computer to do it for me and I just want to fucking play. Don't do that. Just no. You don't need all those cutscenes in a single match. You really, really don't. The next thing, of course, is Road to WrestleMania. I've got to be honest, I think this past Road to WrestleMania wasn't as good as the other two. And the main reason is that it fell into the same trap that SmackDown vs. Raw 2008 fell into. And that's the trap that most of the storytelling is done backstage. It's done through a phone or talking to someone backstage, or in SmackDown vs. Raw 2008, it was done in a fucking magazine. It's not good. The reason why is because I find it very, very hypocritical. THQ goes out of their way to go, this is what you would see on WWE TV, look, we got the logos and shit, and it's just like, this isn't how it's done. You don't have storylines going on backstage where the audience can't see it. That's my only perception. It's, occasionally there's a cutscene backstage, but most times it's just going over here and talking to this guy, and then going over there and talking to that guy. I think that ruined it. I don't like that. It takes out the realism. Well, not the realism. It doesn't make it feel like I'm watching something on WWE television. It doesn't. I like the side quests. The side quests are good. It makes it feel more like a video game. Going over here and collecting someone's costume and then you unlock that costume. That's great. I like that. I just don't like how the story's going to be told. Go and talk to Randy Orton. He's on the phone to Stephanie. Okay, run to Stephanie's office. And then suddenly they're having the exact same fucking phone call. Why are they having the same phone call at different periods? What the fuck, man? Don't do that. Just have it a way you would normally have it. The way that WWE does it. That doesn't make sense. And of course the infamous lip-syncing situation. I'm gonna try my hardest not to rant about this. Basically, all I'm gonna say is, if you can't do it, don't do it. Don't put in a half-assed version. I don't want to see Randy Orton's mouth flapping like an old woman's vagina. Okay? It looks stupid. That's okay for when we were in SmackDown 2, when everything was done by a dialogue box. No one knew the characters, so they were always randomly generated. That's understandable. I can accept that. But that's the 5th generation. That's like 10 years ago. Not even, it's older than 10 years ago. We're now in the 7th generation, PlayStation 3, Xbox 360. We've got a fucking handheld console that does 3D without glasses. That's the sort of technology era we're in. And you're telling me we can't get people to lip sync on a fucking video game nowadays? That's ridiculous. Okay? Don't do it if you can't do it. End of. The whole point of Road to WrestleMania, the reason why that was introduced, is so that the game knew what character you were and what characters you were fighting, so it can make it look better. But it doesn't look better when their mouths are just flapping non-stop, when they're Kane grunts and all he's doing is he's like, fucking hell, what the hell? Seriously? Ridiculous. Don't do it if you can't do it. Online, I don't play online very much, I've got to be honest. The only reason why I've played online on SmackDown 11 is because I need the trophies. I'm a bit of a trophy hunter. It was a horrible experience as well. Lag was terrible. Now, I don't know if this was my connection, although I have seen online other people complaining about it, so I think it might be the actual system they're using to use the online games. If you, again, this is going back to the lip syncing thing. If you can't do it right, don't do it at all. Not every game nowadays has to have a multiplayer online experience. Batman Arkham Asylum doesn't. Assassin's Creed 2 didn't. Hang on, I'm just going to have a quick look at my games that this camera's stacked on. Heavy Rain didn't. Infamous, as far as I'm aware, didn't. This is what I mean. You don't. If you can't do a good online service, don't do an online service at all. And this links right into, of course, my favourite thing to rant about, downloadable content. That's right, guys. Anybody who's watched this show knows I fucking hate downloadable content. It is ridiculous, okay? You're telling me that I have paid £40, £40, especially in this economy, that's a lot of fucking money, right? £40 to buy a video game, and you're telling me I can't access everything on that fucking game unless I hand over another fucking £7. That's SmackDown vs. Raw 2011 is the worst culprit of it I have ever seen in my life, okay? I can understand things like Grand Theft Auto and Red Dead Redemption. Those downloadable contents, they're basically brand new games. That's fine, right? But when you're telling me, if I want to buy a couple of extra characters that, in fact, doesn't even change the gaming experience, but I've got to buy them for about 10 quid, that doesn't make... Just give them me for free, or don't give me them at all, okay? It's stupid. The worst thing on that game, the worst fucking thing, is the fact that the game actually has the $1 Million Championship locked on the disc, and unless you use a cheat code, the only way you can get to it is by purchasing, with real money mind you, purchasing the Unlock Everything code. This is a form of theft, in my opinion, because you have spent so much money on a video game, and now the developers are telling you you can't access everything unless you hand over more money. That is stupid. I've never understood that sort of downloadable content. You know, free content's fine. I like free content. Who doesn't? It's fucking free. But when you're telling me, I just want to download Nexus and yet I'm going to have to hand over, like, what, £5 to get them? And the game doesn't even fucking change. They don't even have a tag team entrance. It's ridiculous. Don't do downloadable content. So in essence, we can come to the conclusion that as long as WWE 12 doesn't fall into those issues and those traps that those past games have fell into, although I have a bad feeling it will, I can expect one of the best games we've seen. I know a lot of people online are complaining about some of the stuff. A lot of the fanboys, I mean, they're just complaining about everything. And this is where, I think, because THQ, they listen to what the fans say, which is great. There's got to be, all game developers should do that, in my opinion, because we're the ones that are buying the content, essentially. So we should buy what we want. But of course, this the fan base is so big that everyone's going to have a different opinion. Some people are going to love this thing, but then another group's going to hate it. And then there's the very small group that my good friend Andy Kwan is in, where they just hate everything, no matter what. Down to the fact that there's a fucking bar, a health bar, on the bottom of the screen. People find fault with anything. And I think people, especially with the SmackDown, I don't care if it's changed its name, it's still the SmackDown series. People with the SmackDown series are just way overly critical about a lot of the stuff that happens. And I think it's unfair. I think these are the sort of people, like Andy, who are only happy when they're unhappy. And it's ridiculous. They're never satisfied at anything that happens, and they constantly rip to shreds the developers. I'm not saying that they've been perfect for the past couple of years, but I enjoy the games. Otherwise I wouldn't do this fucking segment, I wouldn't. I think a lot of people are just overly critical, and I think they should calm the hell down. It's just a fucking health bar, for Christ's sakes. Jesus! Anyway, that's all I've got to really say about the matter. When more things been released about WWE 12, of course, you can find all the latest news on WrestlingTruth.com, and of course this segment, the Video Game Corner. That's really about it for now, so thank you very much, and I'll see you in the next episode. And I don't want to do that. I'm busy focusing...